Hey, I'm ElusiveKev, Mr. Con. Welcome back to MotoGP 18, where Mario's had a superb start to the season. Can he continue it with the first visit to Spain around the Jerez circuit? So here goes Mario then for the first of three possible qualifying efforts. Let's enjoy the best. Alex Marquez is 41.9. Is he braking a bit cautiously into the first corner, just making sure he gets through it in one piece. You have that in a couple of corners, especially just downhill right-hander. As you go through the lefts, high speed left, but a high speed right going onto the back straight, and he's 6% down at the moment, Mario. It's not a good lap at the moment, and he's run very wide. Very lucky not to get it into the dirt there. But he's come off the back with a crazy race in America where he was down and then worked his way up to second in the end. Didn't quite have the pace to win it. But he's been very consistent so far this season. We're looking to continue around the track where he's been decent in the past. Hasn't been the best circuit Jerez for him. But he's had a very good third sector there, matching top line pace. To go through the double right. And see very aggressive through there. Like you need to be. Very smooth on the power. Oh, get a Lorenzo corner. He crossed the line with 43 flat. Not a good lap time at all. Hoping to be in the 40, low 41s really. Be up there in qualifying. So he's got to find a couple of seconds somehow. That's not bad in the first sector, 10th up apparently. Much better through the right, at least on entrance. Losing the bike slightly as he went through the corner, so he's probably lost a couple of tenths there still. But he's still up. As he go through the cul-de-sac corner. We've seen many passes over the years. And through the left as well. Maybe needs to chuck the bike a bit more at that corner. Don't want to do that into this next left though. Just gets tighter. Then surprisingly opens up on the exit. And then the double right. You can see this corner, just this circuit, loads of second and third gears. Now he's 4 tenths up ahead of Marini, apparently his teammate. It's on a 41.6. I have no idea what happened after Mario crashed, but in the end, Baldassarre grabbed pole by 6 tenths ahead of Marini, with Sam Lowes on the front row. Then there's Marquez, Bagnaia and Locatelli on the second row. Then you've got Olivier Passini and McDonald is somehow still 9th after that fall, with Verge around at the top 10 on home turf ahead of Navarro, Binder on the 4th row. Then you've got Mir, Shirota, Ica, Vinales, Barbera and Remy Gardner. Venati, Agata ahead of Simone Corsi. Then you've got Bent Snyder, Courtois and Corradin on the 8th row. Nakashima, Manzi and Danilo on the 9th. The 10th row, Fugalini, Onino and Paoli. While at the back it is Granado, Danny Kent and Joe Roberts. Let's see if McDonald can grab another podium in the race. So here's Mario revving up then at the start from the 3rd row. Waiting for the lights. 2, go. As we get underway. In a res for a long race, 8 laps. Not a good start from the KTM. No, trying to slide down the inside of those. Take over 7th place. Good start now down the inside. The teammates maybe, Passini and Locatelli. Getting to the top 5, join his teammates up there. And he has. In this like Bagnaia and Marcus also in that top 5. But what a start for Mario. Right where he needs to be for the championship. And score solid points this race. Bit wide through the right-hander. A good acceleration race. Bassini ahead of Mir, who's had a fast start, up to 7th. One of the home heroes this race. That's all McDonald almost into the back of Marquez. Might not have got out of here alive if he did that. This Marquez losing out in his battle with Marini and Bagnaia, it looks like. As he's got Baldassarri leading the way comfortably on his ponds. But here comes Mario. Sure everyone knows that, especially Marquez now. Tries to force his way down the inside of Bagnaia. We're trying to follow him through. Down so inside of his teammate, down the inside of Marquez. 3 into 1 right-hander, don't go. Very fast right-hander as well. And Mario trying to find his way past Bagnaia. It's just not working. He's on the outside. He's going to have to let his teammate by. He tries to do the cutback. But he got the straight line speed as Baldassarri just races away in the lead ahead of Marini. Donald nicking down the inside. Bagnaia makes it work. It's up into 4th. Now Marquez working on Marini. Oh, easy. Easy prey for Marquez. Now it's the lead Sky VR46, but you probably don't expect him. Marini in 3rd. There's McDonald trying to catch up with Bagnaia. But also trying to knock off these tyres in the early part. You see barely any tyre after the first lap. But look at that after around lap 4. As he's all over the back of Marini, and so is Bagnaia all over the back of McDonald. As he's dropping back slightly of the top 3, not really gaining. But then this is his sector, this 3rd sector. It's not good that whenever you price the power at the moment, a rear's sliding like a hell. You've got to watch for that as the race progresses. Sure he will. As he's half a second back of his teammate. Baldassarri once again looking comfortable in the lead. But here comes McDonald on Marini. Just leaving the door open was his teammate. McDonald just eases by into the podium places again. Well, Olivier is battling with his teammate Binder over 7th. McDonald solidifies that 3rd place. Now he's trying to catch down Marquez and Baldassarri, who've had some enormous battles over the past couple seasons and a bit. Now here comes McDonald to join the ride. Seems to do well in the 1st sector, McDonald. The 2nd sector not as good, and then of course 3rd sector he's alright. And then final sector he's alright. So if he could just keep close in this sector to the top 2, shouldn't be bad in the last 2 then, as he's around half a second back at the moment. And Olivier and Binder still going like a hell over 7th. As he got Agata ahead of home hero Isaac Vinales, cousin of Maverick. And there's Finati battling with Quartararo well further back. Nakashima and Granada battling over the top 30 spot. Olga Navarro looking to score solid home points with the Grassini in 11th. There Marcel Charotto. McDonald actually losing a 10th in that sector. Let's see if we can gain it back in this final sector then. Oh, he's so strong through that double right. Into the final corner, Lorenzo corner right over the back of Marcus's wheel. Gets a decent exit as well as he go across the line, 41.2. Means he's 6/10 behind Marquez on this 4th lap. 6/10 ahead of Marini. So he's kind of in no man's land at the moment. But he won't mind that. As this is where he tends to do well now, does McDonald in these middle laps of the race. And watch out for that tyre wear again. as well. Once again, front tyre heavily worn. Compared to the rear is hardly worn at all. Once again, front tyre could be down to nothing at the end of this race. That's once again 6 tenths behind Marquez at that point. Marini 9 tenths back, so he's slipping back his teammate. He's played a good support role as Marini, holding back everyone else in fourth, including teammate Bagnaia, who's just got by though. So that could be an obstacle for McDonald as this race progresses. Sam Lowe's battling for 14th with Locatelli. Stars in qualifying, but not in the race, those two. Once again, McDonald very close in that final corner. We've got a decent exit. He might get some slip shimming towards the line then. There's a 41 flat, means he's just 2 tenths behind the top two. Got a second half gap behind to Oliveira ahead of Bagnaia. As we go into the second half of this race. Just getting Clears at the front. Clears behind as well. Oliveira's fought his way through the field. And is second behind McDonald. He's lost half a second that opening sector. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. As his front tyre is halfway worn. Rear's about third. He's gained another 10th. In that second sector, well, McDonald's gained a 10th back on the front two. So it could get very close between these four at the end of this race. So again, McDonald just sitting there. Oh, again, he's messed up that right-hander. But he's kept the gaps in front and behind in that third sector. Again, through that double right, just gaining a bit. Well, Marquez and Baldassari. Baldassari controlling the pace of the race very well. With these two nipping at his heels, especially Marquez. And again, that last sector coming to the aid of McDonald. So you've got to watch out for that. These last couple of laps of the race. There's a good downhill through the right. Through the left. Oh, just clipping some dirt, McDonald. But holds on. But Olivier's gaining 8 tenths behind now. KTM man on a mission. Not had a good start to seeing for his high standards. AK, he's not leading the championship, but he's still right off McDonald's tail. He's gone a bit wide in the hairpin. Well, those and Agata, the Moto2 veterans, battling over 14th. Really battling over 14th. We've gone a battling with Isaac Vinales for 19th. Just outside the points for those two. Again. So McDonald very deep, breaking into that right-hander. Very hard on power for the next right. He's just half a second ahead of Oliveira. 6 tenths behind the top two. There's all Verge down on home turf. Not good for the Dynavolt rider. As McDonald just about holds on. But does that cost him a chance for victory with Oliveira right in his tail now? Oliveira pushing McDonald right. At the start of this penultimate lap. McDonald having none of it. But it looks like Oliveira's held on into third. McDonald on the grass. What are you doing, McDonald? There goes his podium. He's got Binder 4 tenths behind. As the tyres are really starting to go off for McDonald. Not half on the rears, but look at the fronts. So just getting on the power might be very difficult for him. As he goes through the left hand and the KTM's coming to the fore at the end of this race. Once again wide for McDonald. They go for the right hander. And again, look at that rear sliding all over the place. Got a very good first right-hander for McDonald. Not a good second. Otherwise, he could have really closed up on the front three. But he's managed to get a smooth exit on this occasion. There's a 42.5. He's got Binder and Bagnaia right in his tail. He goes slightly wide in the first corner. And Binder with the dive. No respect for it between these two. McDonald down to 5th. Could even lose a top 5 here after being in the hunt for the win for quite a lot of this race. Dives immediately back on Binder. Binder down the inside. Well, Baldassarre and Marquez are going to war over the win. Oh, and Binder pushes McDonald wide. And Bagnaia thinks he could have a chance at his teammate as well. Oh, and he dives through the left. No top 5 for McDonald, maybe. As he goes to war with his teammate. Bad enough, no podium. But he holds the inside through the double right. Just stays ahead of Bagnaia. Does he go through the double right? Donald pushing like a hell. Can he dive down the inside of Binder? He tries. Oh, there's a bit Marquez on Lorenzo, a bit Rossi on Gibernal, but McDonald grabs 4th. Just. Well, what a titanic battle for the win in front. Who won that between Baldassarre and Marquez and Oliveira? Superb pace from the KTMs though in that second half of that race. As Baldassarre wins ahead of Marquez in a dead heat. What? Somehow the Italian held on with Oliveira just 3 tenths behind McDonald, 2.5 seconds back in the end despite having superb, race pace. At least is fast up right up there with Marquez and the second fastest throughout the whole of the field, but just tyre wear biting at him in the last few laps of that race, so he drops back, but he held on ahead of Binder just by a 10th with that ambitious manoeuvre. How important could that be in the championship, grabbing those couple of points? And we've got Bagnaia, Mir, Sharotta, Marini getting the top 10. Definitely deserved that, did the Italian. Passini, Navarro, Ika, Verge, Lowe's and Agata grabs the final point ahead of Locate. Didn't even get a point after his top 5 qualifying. Well, we look further down the field, ran out the top 20 is Fenati. When we go on down to 24th behind his teammate Ben Snyder. You don't often say that this season. And Danny Ken in last. So with his first non-podium finish of the season, McDonald relinquishes the lead in the championship to Baldassarre, who grabs the top spot by 2 points ahead of Oliveira. But look how close it is between those top 3, just 3 points separating them. Then we've got Marquez in 4th, 10 points ahead of Binder, who's 6 points ahead of Bagnaia now, who gets ahead of Verge for 6th. Marini up to 11th ahead of Ika, with those now dropping behind his teammate despite them being level on points, with 19 riders now scoring points so far this season. Agata ahead of Fenati and Gardner. Vinales up ahead of Odendahl
And you also have Danilo, Manzi, Danny Kent dropping to 32nd, Granado in the wooden spoon spot. So for McDonald, he has solidified he is the first rider in this VR46 team after a superb start to the season ahead of Bagnaia, with Marini very much a supporting role, superb supporting role in that race, but lots of development points and reputation earned from that race. And in MotoGP, it was Marcus ahead of Dovi and Rossi, of course. And in Moto3, it was Martin ahead of Bezecchi and Canet, while the Czech riders ahead of the Onchu teams in the Rookies Cup. So for McDonald, some bike development to do. Do we do it to the brakes, suspension, frame, electronics? I think it's to the brakes. Again, as you saw, he did outbrake himself a couple of times under heavy braking, maybe coerced on a couple of occasions as well. So do we improve the braking power or preventing the locking from the braking? It's not really the locking from the braking, it's more the braking power. So get that up to level 3. And so the brakes heavily developed. Do we even look at suspension or frame to develop? Aerodynamics, not really bothered about them, but the frame, that's more about lean angle into the corners. You might have to look at that then as the season progresses, because that could be attributing to the braking as well, not leaning into the corners that you would like. Suspension is very good though over all the surfaces. So McDonald, the streak is over the beginning of the season. He's got no champagne to bring home from Jerez, but could he bring home from Rhine country in France round the Bugatti Le Mans circuit next time? Thanks for watching, and we'll find out then.